Give thanks every time. My AI employee helped me to write this post, this video. It's public, it's on my account, and as of this month, Anthropic says Claude leaves an invisible watermark inside text exactly like this. Not hidden characters, it's baked into the word choices themselves. So here's the question: can anyone take my content and prove a machine wrote it? I read Anthropic's whole explainer, and I put my own published content up against every claim in it. And the first surprise comes immediately. This post is probably not watermarked at all. Not because I did anything clever. The reason why tells you exactly how this whole system works. I'm going to show you. So basically, at first I did not know. I was like, so is everything they do, like every website they make? I was thinking that they were trying to, watermark it so that basically they can claim the work that their AI created. I'm just thinking that like Claude wants people to be aware if, a website was made by Claude, a script to a speech, something like that. And I thought it would be like a watermark, like, that like a visual watermark that we couldn't see, like printed into the words. But I was wrong about everything. So I did the research myself and I figured out what is actually going on. So I'm going to talk about how does this watermark actually work. Basically, every time Claude picks the next word when it's writing text, so it's basically only text. And text going into a website is a little bit different. I'll get to that soon. There's a little controlled randomness in the choice of text. So, like for each sentence, there's a few words that, could be swapped out, and it's really not going to change the context of the sentence. So you can have that random, and they use like number generators, so there's like a math to the way that sentences go together. And watermarking is going to swap that randomness for one that comes from a secret key, plus also a few words before the key. So one word choice might look completely normal, but if there is enough text across the text, the choices form a statistical fingerprint, and the only party who can check the fingerprint is whoever holds the key. So it's all about the word choices that are chosen. And the longer something is, the more variance there is to word choices. So if it's mathematically done the way word choices are selected, and you have enough script that the choices can be repeated over time, then you basically can prove, if you have the key, that that specific piece of text was generated by Claude. So you basically need the key. Nobody can see it unless you have this key. So what it is not, there's no hidden characters, no extra tokens, no change to the quality, the speed, or the cost. So nobody can see it. Everything is just going to, be generated. The quality is still going to be the same. And this was rolled out on August 2nd. So earlier this month. And here's the real reason why it came out. It was for transparency rules for AI content. And this is Europe's regulatory system that they're basically like working on right now and figuring out with AI, which is, I would have to say, so far they've made a lot more progress than the US. The US hasn't really done much with AI regulation. And I mean, it's still super early. I feel like it's really hard to get any kind of regulation right with AI unless it's like really critical, really important. I think like smaller things like this, there's going to be a lot of issues, and, this idea might not work at all. They might totally abandon this. Like, this is, I'm looking at it as something they're just trying for right now. So the new Claude models are going to carry it. Since August 2nd, any new model from Anthropic is going to have it. And the older models, over the next coming months, they're going to basically put it into it. So it's not everywhere. It's only on the models that have created after August 2nd. And for me, this is the main thing that I noticed, because basically for me, all my AI employees that are using a Claude model are using a model that was created before August 2nd. So first off, I'm like, okay, this doesn't apply to me until I start using the newer models. And even then, I mean, like, the way that I write, I'm not having AI write everything for me. I'm having it more of like an assistant. So a lot of it is like my words, my writing, me ad-libbing. So that's going to like really throw off any kind of key trying to find something like that when it's not just pure AI text. Plus, some things I think pure AI text really shouldn't matter. Like if you're just responding to an email and you want help, I mean, if you're getting your message across and it's AI, I mean, like I don't think that should be a problem. Someone's trying to say the only real thing that I'm thinking is like if you're trying to claim that you created this music, you created this writing, but it's actually just pure AI, like then I mean that would make sense. But even then, it's like that's like there's a lot bigger issues I feel like that need to be solved before this. So here's the bigger claim: the watermark is going to ship with models launched, like I said, after August 2nd. And nobody outside Anthropic can check this today. The detection API is announced but not released. So they're already starting to basically like do the stuff with the text that's going to make it so the key can detect it, but they have not released the key yet. It just says coming soon. So nobody knows when this key is going to be here, who's going to have access to it, stuff like that. And like I was saying before, I mean, the detection confidence is going to be not 100%. And the longer a text is that's pure AI, the more confident it can be that it's AI. It's not just like, 100% AI, 100% not AI. It's like a certain percent. All right, so the fade rules from Anthropic's post in order. When Anthropic released their post announcing this, so basically, here's the way that I think most people are dealing with this right now is just the order that they produce content. So basically, if you were to give Claude something you created, or give any AI that would have any kind of watermarking something you created, and you were to say, just like make the punctuation better, polish this, make it a little bit better, it's going to do that and it's going to be able to apply these watermarks. But if you have Claude create something, just Claude create like an outline or basically like something like that, then you go and then you do the ad-libbing and then you just like, structure everything yourself and you do it in that order, then it's going to be like really difficult for any kind of watermark to be shown. So this is important for like how I'm actually working right now and the workflows that I have. My AI employees, the way they draft content, the way they draft or even like create videos now, creating audio. I'm having employees do new things every day, it seems like. So every draft crosses my desk. Some I send nearly as is, some I tear up and rewrite. And here's the one part that I didn't expect that I just learned. I already keep the record the watermark world is going to care about. The draft, my sent version, which words survived. The watermark tracks whose words made it to the publish, so does my ledger. So this is like a benefit to me that I can look back and I can tell my agents, okay, look at this. This piece of marketing content worked. Like this book worked. Like people liked this. So like, can you go back and can you see how much of this did I write and how much of this did AI write? Because I want to see like, where was the idea from? Like what was that central idea? So this is basically like giving me power in a way. And when it comes to code, what I found out is like it's really difficult to put this into code because with code, the way it's written, there's not so much variance as there is with just like writing normal text. So like if I'm just talking to somebody, the way I'm explaining something, there can be a lot of variance. But then when it comes to code, it's really difficult to like change around the variance and have the code still work. So that's basically how I understand that now. So now I want to understand basically what does this watermarking actually prove? Because I got into a little bit earlier that it can't really prove 100%, and that's kind of like all I understood at first. So as I did more research, I found out that the most important sentence in the way Anthropic described this was they're saying a positive match proves Claude was likely involved in producing or processing the text. That's all. It's super simple. So it's basically saying it cannot prove a human wrote something. It cannot name which AI wrote something. And it cannot tell Claude wrote this from Claude heavily edited this. So it can't tell like Claude wrote this chunk, a human actually wrote this chunk. All it can do is like take one big chunk, scan it, take a small chunk, scan it, and then give like a certainty, probably like percentage, that it might be AI. So the one like really downside of this that I'm seeing, the one where, you know, people regret using AI to write something is where there's a detector. And detectors don't exist yet. And it's only in the new models. So it's really not through everything. The mark proves involvement. I already told you that my AI employees are involved. That's pretty much like what I've been working on this channel. But the main thing, the watermark can only ever confirm what I say out loud. This technology doesn't out honest operators. It outs pretenders, like I'm saying, just people who try to pass stuff off as their own when it's AI. If your whole game is passing AI work off as handcrafted, it's going to be more difficult for you to do this, more over time. But if your game is being real about it, then nothing's changed except your story got easier to prove. So I'm looking at my prediction of like, what I understand about technology and the trends right now, and basically like where this was going. Where do I think this is going? I think that basically every major AI model is going to have some kind of detection, and it'll probably get better over time. The main reason I think is because as soon as it comes out, somebody's going to make something that is going to, trick detection. So it's like it'll just take it and rearrange it so it's harder to detect. So then the detection models are going to have to get better. I don't think this is going to go away as long as there's like actual governments that are demanding that this is done, then that's what's going to happen. So maybe one day the governments realize like, okay, like AI is going to be here. Like, is this really that big of a deal? And then this could all change overnight and it just goes away. But that's, I think, the main thing is it all comes down to right now. This is government regulation. If it wasn't for that, I don't think that this would even be done in the first place. So, me, my name is Nate, and this is my opinion. Just a prediction. All right, so here's the takeaway. Claude's watermark says one thing. AI was involved. I already say that louder than any watermark ever will. Whole channel is about AI. Content I'm doing is about AI. So, I feel like that should be obvious that I'm using AI in what I do in my business. I'm saying that very public. I'm not trying to like say that, I created all this myself and AI did not help me. So the move isn't to dodge the mark. The move is to keep your own receipts. Know which words are yours and say so. That's going to be the whole defense that people can have. Against what? I don't know. That's another thing. Like what is, in certain areas with like, if you're lying and copywriting, but like as far as regulations go, we don't know yet. So it costs nothing. This costs nothing if you're honest. If you want the exact setup I use to build with AI without being a developer, my free Claude Code starter kit is linked in the description and pinned in the comments. Make sure you go grab it. And let me know in the comments, when that API detection goes live, would you run your own content through it? Would you still create if you knew there was a watermark? Would that change anything for you? I'm going to read every single comment. Make sure, give thanks every time. I'll see you in the next video.